Hello and welcome to the How to Live in Denmark podcast. I'm Kaysander Mellish. If you're newly arrived in Denmark, making Danish friends is not easy. In fact, surveys show that one of the main reasons internationals end up leaving Denmark is the difficulty of building a network. The irony is, Danes are actually very good at friendship. Their friendships are strong, reliable, and deep-rooted. Friends can really count on each other. But because Danes take friendship so seriously, they like to keep their number of friendships under control. They don't want to take on more friends than they can keep their deep commitment to. The statement, "I just don't have room for any more friends," sounds perfectly sensible to Danes and utterly stunning to foreigners. When internationals ask me how they can make Danish friends, I have one primary piece of advice. It is, find a Dane who did not grow up in the part of Denmark where you live now. If you're living in Copenhagen, find someone who grew up in Ringkøbing or Esbjerg. If you're in Aalborg, find someone who grew up in Odense or Køge. Because when you find a Dane who grew up someplace else, you'll find someone who is also looking to establish a new network of friends. Trying to make friends with someone who grew up in the town where you live is hopeless. They're always busy with family and old school friends. Want to plan a get-together on the weekend? Nah, it's Granny's 80th birthday party. It's their nephew's confirmation. It's their old school friend's bachelorette party. It goes on and on and on and on. When you choose a Dane whose family and friends are far away, I tell them, you'll find someone who has more time and more interest in finding new friends. Many Danes have told me they were very lonely after moving to a new part of Denmark. Also, as an international, you don't have any of the prejudices about people from other parts of the country that Danes themselves can struggle with. This is something Danes don't really talk about very much, but someone from Copenhagen can be very narrow-minded about people from Jutland and Fyn. They call them farmer butts, bonderøv. And people from Jutland can be just as dismissive about people from Copenhagen or Sjælland. They think they're flashy or maybe arrogant. But as an international, hey, they're all the same to you, so you can use that as an advantage. You're more open. Another group of Danes who are open to friendship with internationals are Danes who have just arrived home after living overseas. Someone who's been living in San Francisco or Singapore or South Africa may find Denmark uncomfortably small. They often miss the excitement and diversity of their overseas posting and really like the idea of hanging out with someone who can cook a ristafel or make an authentic Mexican tortilla. They're also more likely to understand that the concept of friendship can be stretched to include both deep-rooted commitment and casual get-togethers every couple of weeks to go for a run or see a movie. And finally, it's always a good idea to look for Danes who have some kind of attachment to your home country. You'll meet these people at cultural events that celebrate your own country. A Chinese music festival, for example, or a cooking class where people make Indian food. For these Danes, your ethnic origins are a big positive. Anyway, ask Danes what they think foreigners should do if they want to make Danish friends, and you almost always get the same answer. Join an association. That's how Danes make friends, they explain. First of all, many associations are centered around sports. What are you supposed to do if you're a weedy computer engineer who spent his teenage years in a basement? Or a woman who wears traditional clothing that makes it difficult to run around? Secondly, most associations conduct their events and their parties in Danish. Do they really want to add a foreigner to the team who will force them to speak English over their after-game beers? If so, that foreigner had better be a damn good player. So, in addition to sports associations, I usually recommend choirs, particularly ones that are singing in a foreign language anyway. Danes love to sing, and if you're singing American gospel songs, for example, it hardly matters if you're doing it with a Danish or an Indian accent. Another good option is the sort of cafes that have board games and groups of locals who are always looking for a third or fourth player. I mean, nobody wants to play Monopoly with two people, right? The key word is brætspil, board games, cafe. You can look it up on Google. And then there's always taking a course or class. This can be tricky if the course is held in Danish. I once made a mistake of trying to take a belly dancing class when I didn't speak the language, and the head belly dancer was very angry at me. But some courses are held in English. And some, like language courses, make not being able to speak Danish a positive. Take an Italian course and all the Danes will be forced to speak to you in Italian. Fun stuff. At any rate, look for a course that requires a lot of group work. Many courses list the phone number of the teacher, and it's considered perfectly fine to telephone in advance and ask about the structure of the course and get a sense of if you might fit in. Making Danish friends will require a fair amount of patience and planning. Anyone over age 25 or younger people who have partners or children generally plans his or her schedule well in advance. It's unusual to be able to ask someone on Thursday if they want to do something over the weekend and get an affirmative answer. But with patience and persistence, you too can have a wonderful Danish friend. Pay attention to the stages of Danish friendship. Hanging out at a group activity leads to a specific plan to meet up and do something, which might mean an invite to a casual party, plus maybe more getting together and hanging out. Things can continue at this level for a while until you receive an invite to dinner at your Danish counterpart's home, which can be a big deal. You now have a seat at their metaphorical friendship table. The ultimate friendship prize is an invite to a Dane's round birthday party. This means you're thought of as a true friend. Remember to bring an expensive present to celebrate. And that's the How to Live in Denmark podcast for this week. Join us on howtoliveindenmark.com, where you can get a How to Live in Denmark t-shirt or hoodie. You can also get our books, How to Live in Denmark, How to Work in Denmark, and our newest book, Working with Americans, Tips for Danes. Or follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. See you next time.